Die Geldmeisterin. Der Finanzpodcast.
A lot of money is going into a few groups of stocks that are getting narrower. In the past, Julia, that has eventually led to problems. I am not selling short. Not yet.
Die Stimme, die ihr gerade hört, gehört dem legendären Investor und Hedgefondsmanager Jim Rogers, jener Amerikaner, der nicht nur Partner von George Soros beim legendären, einen der ersten Hedgefonds Quantum war, sondern der auch die Wiener Börse in den 80er Jahren wachküsste und vor allem vor rund 2 Jahrzehnten von New York nach Singapur zog, damit seine Töchter Chinesisch lernen und am Aufstieg dieser neuen Welt- und Wirtschaftsmacht partizipieren können. Mein Name ist Julia Kistner, die von ihm wissen wollte, ob er immer noch an das chinesische 21. Jahrhundert glaubt und warum er derart pessimistisch ist, dass er momentan lieber in Cash als in Aktien geht. Und da ist er leider nicht der einzige Börsenpromi. Nur Cash ist fesch. Star-Investor Warren Buffett, dessen Beteiligungsholding Berkshire Hathaway ohnehin auf einem Dollarberg von 277 Milliarden US-Dollar sitzt, hat, statt weiter zu investieren, im zweiten Quartal 2024 die Hälfte seiner Apple-Anteile um 84 Milliarden US-Dollar verscherbelt und dann auch noch insgesamt um 6,845 Milliarden US-Dollar Aktien des zweitgrößten US-Finanzinstituts Bank of America verkauft, wo es doch eines seiner Beteiligungen der ersten Stunde war. Seine Neuinvestitionen sind dagegen ein echter Fliegenschiss. Um 266,3 Millionen US-Dollar Aktien hat er von der US-Kosmetikkette Ultra Beauty, warum auch immer, erworben und um 185,4 Millionen US-Dollar Anteile am US-Flugzeugtechnikunternehmen HEICO. Will der 94-jährige Warren Buffett und vielleicht auch der knapp 82-jährige Jim Rogers nur einen Generationswechsel vorbereiten oder wissen sie vielleicht mehr über die geopolitische und Weltwirtschaftslage? Jim begründet im Interview seine Zurückhaltung an der Börse ähnlich wie Warren, dass alles fundamental gesehen viel zu überteuert sei, dass er der Champagnerlaune der Investorenschar nicht traut. Letzteres klingt nach Bauchgefühl. Mein Bauchgefühl sagt, es geht rauf und wieder runter. Doch da man nicht weiß, wann, ist es besser, bei der Party dabei zu sein, als zu glauben, man beherrsche das richtige Timing und dabei viel Gewinn liegen lässt. Wo ich Jim beipflichte, ist, dass es sich die hochverschuldeten Staaten immer weniger leisten können, im Krisenfall in die Bresche zu springen und daher die nächsten Börsencrash heftiger ausfallen könnten. Jim Rogers will dann nicht der Letzte sein, der verkauft. Das verstehe ich. Ich weiß aber auch aus langjähriger journalistischer Erfahrung, dass sich Horrormeldungen immer viel besser verkaufen lassen. Noch scheint uns weiterhin die Sonne. Es macht aber vielleicht bei der aktuellen heißen Temperatur Sinn, sich einen höheren Sonnenschutzfaktor zuzulegen, meine ich persönlich. Also vielleicht bei den sehr hoch bewerteten Highflyern Gewinne mitzunehmen und sich wieder nach Aktien mit altbewährten, bei jeder Wetterlage funktionierenden Geschäftsmodellen umzuschauen. Aber Anlegen ist natürlich etwas sehr Individuelles. Was für mich gut ist, mag nicht in euer Portfolio passen. Da halte ich es übrigens mit Jim Rogers. Nicht das kaufen oder verkaufen, was andere empfehlen, sondern nur in das investieren, wo man sich selbst gut oder vielleicht besser als alle anderen auskennt. Viel Hörvergnügen wünschen auf alle Fälle Julia Kistner und Jim Rogers. Hello, Jim. Do you hear me?
Hi, Julia. Okay, well, let's start. We can start.
Yeah. So how do you see the economic situation and the situation on the stock exchanges right now?
Well, the American economy since 2009 has been doing well, and the market has. Now, that's the longest in American history. Never in American history has things been done so well for so long. Maybe it's going to go on forever, but it never has. So I am worried because it has lasted so long, the longest ever. There are signs Many stocks go up every day. There are lots of new investors who are not worried about anything. So when everybody is having fun and nearly every stock market in the world is doing well, I get worried.
And you have been very worried because of the market in the last time. But don't you see it increasing again because a lot of money is currently being withdrawn from the big tech stocks to the small and mid caps?
Oh, yes, I see what you see. Yes, a lot of money is going into tech stocks. A lot of money is going into a few groups of stocks that are getting narrower and narrower every week. In the past, Julia, that has eventually led to problems. I am not selling short. Not yet. I don't see enough craziness, enough hysteria yet, but I am worried. Now, I don't mind if I'm early. I don't mind if I get out before everybody else gets out. The problem would be if I get out after everybody else, if I'm late. I don't want to be late. I had rather be early than to be late.
But this is really interesting. You already explained now how you personally prepare for the bear market. But isn't it also quite costly not to see the opportunities and be in cash instead of being invested? If you look at the last 2 years, not to mention the compound interest you are losing if you are not invested.
Well, no, I haven't been out for 2 years. I've been out for several months. Yes. I've missed the last part of the move. And I repeat, I don't mind missing the last part of any move. The last part can be wonderful. I don't mind missing it. I'd rather be too late than too early.
And you have the experience of a lot of crashes
Well, I have had some success in the past, so I can still pay my bills, so I'm not too worried.
You think the next bear market will be very violent because of the heavily indebted countries can no longer intervene this time. Is this correct, or are there other reasons for the worldwide financial disaster you are thinking of will happen?
Well, Julia, now everybody has a lot of debt, even China.
Yeah.
China saved us before, but everybody has debt now. I don't know who will save us next time because there is so much debt everywhere in the world now. So when the problems come, I expect the problems to be very serious because of so much debt, and I don't see anybody to save us. Who's going to save it? North Korea? North Korea doesn't have any money. They don't have any debt.
Maybe Uzbekistan.
Maybe Uzbekistan is one of the few places where I am investing now, but Uzbekistan cannot save the world.
What makes me a little bit worried is that you are so skeptical that you even think the bear market would start again this year or next year at the latest. What makes you so skeptical?
This has been going on since 2009. That is a very, very long time in stock market history and in economic history. Maybe it will go on forever. In Washington, they say, don't worry. We have things under control. When Washington says, don't worry, I worry. I know they don't know what they're doing. But yes, it's wonderful. And the people who are participating are having a very good time, Julia. That worries me. When everybody's having a very good time, I worry.
When I think of all the good times.
And a very good time even the miners have right now. Gold mining stocks are doing very well at the moment. Silver rose 24% in the last quarter. Gold rose 13%. Are we seeing the super cycle in commodities right now you always mentioned and which took a lot of time?
Well, gold is at an all-time high, as you know. Silver's up, but it's still down a lot. I own silver and gold. If I were buying one today, I would buy silver, and I will buy more silver eventually because silver is still depressed. Gold, I own gold. I'm not selling my gold, and if it goes down, I will buy more. Other commodities have not been so strong. Oil has been okay, but no, most of of the other commodities have not been wildly popular, wildly excessive. Commodities will be better later, but not right now.
So why don't you buy commodities instead of keeping cash, since you have your own index?
Well, I own the index and I own some commodities. As I said, I own silver, I own gold, I own many. But I don't see enough depression in the commodities market now. I like to buy things when people are very depressed, when people are very unhappy. That's when I like to buy. And I don't see that in many markets anywhere in the world. Maybe Uzbekistan, maybe China, but most markets are not very depressed.
And what about agricultural raw materials, your main thing of interest many years?
Yes, I mean, agriculture is compared to stocks, agriculture is a very good opportunity. Agriculture prices are down compared to stocks. You know, you don't see a lot of young people trying to become farmers. Everybody wants to go to Wall Street or the city of London. Nobody wants to be a farmer yet. As I said, I'm optimistic about agriculture and some commodities now, but for the moment, I'm waiting. I'm hoping there comes a time when they get very depressed so I can buy.
But China, as you said, is already very depressed. The bubble, you said, in real estate would be the largest in history. But why does it make sense to get into this market then, even if nobody else is going there? But that's really very risky, because you don't know if it's getting healthy again.
Well, Julia, investing is always risky.
Yeah, that's right.
At least in my life, it's always been risky.
Yeah.
But China is an extremely large economy, the second largest in the world. It is depressed. So I like to look at places that are depressed for opportunities. I'm not finding many yet, maybe because I'm lazy. But I think China and Uzbekistan and maybe some other places. But Julia, most markets around the world, stock markets, are very, very high. I don't like to buy when everybody's happy.
But you still don't buy in China. Even, I guess, you still think that this will be the century for China. Have you changed your opinion?
No, I am looking in China to see if I can find investments. I have investments. I have investments in China, which I've owned for many years, but I'm not buying anything now because I haven't found anything.
Okay.
Maybe I will. Maybe next week I'll find something. I don't know.
But in China, it doesn't make sense like in Japan to buy just ETFs. So you're looking for real companies, are there?
Well, the Japanese stock market is making an all-time high. You know, the Japanese stock market was down for 35 years.
Yeah.
35 years. You know, that's gigantic. But now, for very many reasons, the government and the bank, the central bank, are doing things to make the market go up. I had Japanese shares, but I sold them too soon. I don't mind. I'd rather sell too soon than too late. But yes, no, Japan is exciting right now.
So you're not anymore in these Japanese ETFs?
I sold my Japanese ETFs. I made a huge return. But it's gone. It's gone now.
Yeah. Your opinion is that better to lock up really good gains than to wait to be the last one who gets out of an investment.
I don't want to be the last one to sell.
Okay.
Never, in any market.
Okay.
No. I'd rather be the first one to sell than the last one everywhere in the world.
To get to your cannabis and plutonium investments, do you still have them?
I think mainly I've sold, but I think there's one nuclear power company I still own, but I don't remember. I've owned it a long time, so I don't really remember. But I am not buying nuclear power now. It may be a good opportunity, but not for me.
And are you still more keen on the fossil fuels investments than the alternative energy?
Well, energy is still a good place to invest, but energy has gone up a lot in the last few months, few years. Energy has become very, very popular, and it should, but I'm not buying energy now because it's gone up a lot. I don't like to buy things that are expensive. I like to buy low.
Okay. And what about Russia? What are you doing with your Russian investments?
Well, my Russian investments are trapped, as you know. Everything is blocked, so I'm not doing anything. I'm waiting in Russia. I'm waiting for, I guess there will be peace someday. And maybe when there's peace in Russia, everything will be better. Nothing I can do.
Yeah, okay. But on the other hand, you, as I remember, said to spread your investments is just a thing for the fund manager and not for getting rich. Is this still your meaning? But if you would have been just in Russia, that would have been a problem for you now.
Well, if you want to be a successful investor, it's best to focus, to find good things, and then concentrate and focus in a few good things. That's how you become a successful investor. I know that people say you should diversify. You will not become rich if you diversify. The way to get rich is to find a few good things and focus on those good things. Now, if you're wrong, you'll lose everything. You'll go bankrupt. But if you want to be successful, you should concentrate and focus. You have to be right, because if you're wrong, you'll lose everything.
And what are generally your current investment ideas? Is it just to keep a lot of cash, or do you have another idea?
I have a lot of U.S. dollars cash.
Yeah.
And I have U.S. dollars because many people, when things get worrisome, will put their money into U.S. dollars. They think it is a safe haven. And my plan is that when the U.S. dollar goes up a lot, that I will sell my U.S. dollars. Now, your next question should be, where will you put the money?
Right.
And I don't know, Julia. I don't know a currency now that I want to invest in. Maybe it should be China, but China's got a blocked currency. You cannot buy and sell the Chinese currency like you can the euro or the U.S. dollar or something. So I have not found a new currency yet.
What are your expectations regarding economic growth, interest rates, inflation, debt?
Well, I know inflation is coming back. I know the central bank says, don't worry, we have solved the problem. But I know inflation will come back. I know it will be a problem. And that will probably be what causes stock markets to go down again. When inflation comes back and central banks start raising interest rates again, that's when stock markets will go down. They say that inflation is finished. I don't believe them. I know they don't know. Maybe I don't know, but I know they don't know either.
Okay. You are not really keen on stocks right now. Bond market was nothing.
Julia, all over the world are making all-time highs. Only China and Uzbekistan are down.
Yeah.
Everything has been going up. So, I mean, it's not often in history that everything goes up, but we have nearly everything up now. That worries me. Okay. If everybody's happy, I have to get worried.
So you just see everywhere bubbles, or is there something which is real deep in the bubble, like crypto, equity, real estate?
I don't know I didn't say everything's a bubble. I said everything is up. The Japanese stock market is at an all-time high. America, many. They're not a bubble yet, but they are expensive. I don't like to buy things that are all-time high. It looks to me like we're going to have more bubbles, but not yet.
Okay. And how do you provide financially for your young daughters?
One thing I have learned about people, especially young people, if they're interested, you should help them. You should teach them. You should encourage them. But so far, my children have not shown any interest in investing at all. I don't want to force them to learn about investing. Because normally if you force somebody to learn something, they don't learn as well. It's not as good. I'm hoping that someday my daughters will say to me, "Oh, Daddy, teach us about investing." When that happens, I will do everything I can.
Okay.
But I want them to be interested and enthusiastic first.
What would you say to someone who just starts his career or her career and wants to put some money aside to prepare for the future? How should I start an investment right now?
If you want to be successful, you start with what you know a lot about. Everybody knows a lot about something. Cars, fashion, something. And if you start with what you know a lot about, you will probably be more successful. I mean, if you love cars and know all about cars, you know more about cars than I do. And that's where you should start. And that's where you will find successful investments. You already know more than most people do. And if you find something good that's happening, that's changing, start doing some research and start investing. Only, Julian, what you already know a lot about. Don't listen to other people. Listen to your own brain.
So nobody should invest in crypto because nobody understands it.
Well, if you understand it, maybe you can make money. But if you don't understand it, you're probably going to lose a lot of money.
In Europe, I have the feeling that right now everybody is so depressed. Nobody has power to change anything. What can you suggest in Europe to be more optimistic for the future if you say there's nothing to be optimistic?
Well, when people are depressed, it's usually because something is wrong. And if you can figure out what's wrong, that's what needs to be changed. Europe has high taxes, as you know. High taxes do not usually make people happy. So that's one of the reasons Europe is unhappy. I hope that will change. I like Europe. Europe has a problem with very few babies. That's a problem in many countries. And so Europe needs to do something to help people have babies or have immigrants. But people don't like foreigners. They don't like many foreigners. So I guess Europe has to have more babies and cut taxes and have babies.
To summarize, what is Jim Rogers right now investing in? In nothing?
Well, I told you, Uzbekistan, I am looking for something in China. These are markets that are not making new highs. I want to invest in agriculture if and when I find something that's depressed. But there's not much now, Julia. I mean, most markets in the world are high. Very rarely in world history has everything been high. This is a time when nearly everything is high. Normally, if you read history, when everything is high, you should be worried. So I'm worried.
So I keep my feet still and I'm looking forward to interview you in 1 year again and to hear that you were wrong for the short time.
I always love talking to you. So yes. I hope we do this again next year.
Alles Gesagte ist nur die persönliche Meinung von Julia Kistner und daher keine Anlageempfehlung und keine Rechts- und Steuerberatung. Für Verluste, die aufgrund von getroffenen Aussagen entstehen, übernimmt die Autorin Julia Kistner keine Haftung.